When it comes to traveling to Disney World with food allergies, food allergy families often feel very secure about the food there. That's because Disney has created a great reputation for being allergy-friendly and has become a trusted vacation spot for many food allergy families. But did you know that there are some important and often overlooked things to know about when it comes to Disney with food allergies? In this episode, I'm spilling the tea and sharing 3 things you need to know about Disney with food allergies so you can have the safest and most magical vacation ever. Don't go to Disney World without listening to this episode first. Hey food allergy mama, if you're here, you've likely experienced the scary and lonely food allergy diagnosis with your child. Unfortunately, food allergy parents aren't taught how to navigate the food allergy lifestyle, and it's easy to feel alone and discouraged sometimes. But I'm here to show you that food allergy life doesn't have to feel restrictive, scary, or isolated. I'm Corinna, and I'm a 17-year food allergy mom and food allergy coach at Friendly Pantry Consulting. I specialize in making food allergy life safer and less worrisome for food allergy families like yours. I'm not perfect, but over 17 years, I've learned a lot the hard way, and I'm sharing the secrets and resources you won't hear anywhere else that will help you feel confident living with food allergies faster and easier than I did. From introducing allergens, travel, navigating school, and educating friends and family, this podcast will give you the essential tips and strategies you need to help your food allergy child and family thrive. Welcome to the show. So at the time of recording, we came back from a Disney trip a couple of months ago. We were at Disney World, and this is not our first time there. This was actually, I think, maybe our 5th time. And not only have we been to Disney World several times, but we've also been to Disneyland several times and even to Disneyland Paris. So I'm not telling you this to brag, but I do want you to know that we have a fair amount of experience with Disney with food allergies. And I'm not making recommendations based on what worked for just one trip or even 2. What I'm talking about here is based on our experience from several trips. Along with the 3 things you need to know about Disney with food allergies, I'm going to be talking about a tool that I've also found super helpful when planning a trip to Disney World. And these are the Disney World food allergy and gluten-free guides. And let me tell you, I wish I had known about these guides sooner because they make going to Disney World with food allergies and celiac too much easier. Now that I know about these guides, I would not go to Disney World without them because they made our trip safer, easier, and we saved tons of time because they told us exactly where to go to get the food that works for my daughter's allergies. So we didn't have to spend a lot of time searching all over the parks for safe food and treats. Honestly, if you're going on vacation, nobody wants to spend a huge amount of money on that vacation or on a park day at Disney and then have to spend most of the time searching for food, which is exactly why these guides are so helpful. I will post an affiliate link in the show notes so you can check them out if you're interested. Okay, so I've packed this episode with lots of great tips that we have to get through. So let's talk about the first thing you need to know about Disney with food allergies. And that is that Disney is great with food allergies, but they're not perfect. And I think that sometimes food allergy families hear so much about Disney's reputation and that they're really great with food allergies. And so they kind of feel like they can, turn off when they get there. But it really is still important to take precautions. And while Disney manages food allergies in a unique way, I honestly didn't fully understand how it all worked until I read my Disney food allergy guides. And these guides explained exactly how Disney manages food allergies and all the ins and outs. For example, until I read this guide, I had no idea that Disney manages food allergies in a way that if you are concerned about may contain statements, it's always best to talk to the manager or chef. And I had no idea about this before because we just ordered off the allergy menus and assumed it was okay. But if you look, Disney has a disclaimer stating that they use ingredients with may contains on the labels. And unless you talk to a chef, that risk is up to you. Now, full honesty here, because I had heard so much about how good Disney is with food allergies, I was actually tempted to ignore that disclaimer. I just thought it was maybe a cover your butt statement, but I also didn't feel right ignoring it because I knew that at the time we would never eat an ingredient with may contain statement at home. So why would I do it on vacation? Because honestly, vacation is the last place we would want to take any extra risks. So when I did get those food allergy guides, it made sense and I realized that we needed to do things differently. allergy. So this last trip when we were there, we noticed that when you tell them that you have an allergy, they'll ask you if you want to speak to a chef. And if you say no, they're actually even going to put it on the receipt saying that you declined a chef consult so that they can refer back to it if there's a problem. So I'm really glad that I learned this information about may contains so that we could be as safe as possible. The second thing you absolutely need to know about Disney World is that they are great when you have one allergy, but it is much more difficult if you have 2 or more food allergies. So if you have multiple allergies, table service restaurants are going to be much better at accommodating your needs. They're set up to help with almost every allergy, and they can change menu items based on your needs. That said, table service restaurants are quite expensive, and you usually need to book way in advance. They also take a lot of time out of your park days, so it's something to consider when you're going and see what your priorities are. This is why we usually opt for quick service restaurants in the parks. But of course, quick service restaurants have their limitations as well, so you need to know how to navigate them. In fact, I have a whole episode specifically about Disney World allergy menus. So if you want to know more about the quick service restaurants and their menus, make sure to go back and listen to episode 8. It's called Unlock the Magic of Disney World Allergy Menus, and I'm going to post a link in the show notes for you to refer to. But for now, I want to talk a little bit more about how Disney kind of navigates food allergies as single allergies, which kind of makes navigating multiple food allergies more difficult. For example, my daughter has tree nut and peanut allergies and gluten intolerance. So to Disney, this is seen and set up as 2 different allergies because at the quick service restaurants, they lump peanut and tree nut allergies together, and then gluten is a separate allergy. So this means that when we choose a meal for my daughter, we have to make sure that the meal she chooses fits under both of the allergy menus. And that means that there's usually really only 1 to 2 meal options that work for all of her allergies at each quick service location. Now, I'm not complaining because it's nice to have at least 1 meal that we know is safe at each allergy location, but it can come to a bit of a surprise to people who don't actually realize this about Disney. And I think people think there's tons of options for people with food allergies, but unfortunately, it really isn't the case. There are options, but often they are limited, and the options are definitely going to go down when there are more allergies. Okay, as a quick little side, many people asked whether you can bring your own food into the parks. And yes, you are able to bring your own food, but you must be able to carry it on your own. So you're not allowed to bring like a cooler with a wagon or something like that. It has to be able to be carried in your own bag. There was a day when we bring our own safe snacks, but even though we did bring them, we found that we were super hungry earlier than we thought we would be, and we weren't prepared for that. We had eaten all of our snacks, but lunch was still far, far away, and we were all starting to get hangry. And I think we all know what it's like when you're in a busy place with people who are just need to eat. So we set out to find a snack that was safe. And let me tell you, with our 3 food allergies, or 2 as Disney categorizes them, this wasn't easy. So after looking at the Disney food allergy guides, we realized that in all of Magic Kingdom, there were about 3 snacks that would work for my daughter's allergies. And I want to share this with you because I don't want you to be surprised once you get there, because you still have to find all the snacks and the food because it's so busy there. There's so many snack and food stands, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. On top of that, there's nothing worse than having to stand in line and find out about a food item and then it isn't even safe and you have to start over. So in this case, we used our Disney food allergy and gluten-free guide, and it told us exactly what snacks would work for my daughter's allergies and where to find them so that we could go directly to the stand without searching for hours or experiencing disappointment. Honestly, I was so thankful for the Disney food allergy guides that day. Okay, let's move on to number 3. And this is actually a double little bonus for you. So the first thing is that not every quick service stand has allergy menus. And the second part is that it's best not to use mobile ordering if you have multiple allergies. So in every park, there's going to be 3 to 4 restaurants that have allergy menus. And this doesn't mean that you can't get allergy food at the places that don't have allergy menus, but it does mean that you're going to have to wait for a chef and you're not going to know if they're going to be able to accommodate you. because of this, we really like to stick to the restaurants with allergy menus because they're already set up with the right procedures. The staff is going to be better trained to handle allergies, and we don't want to take unnecessary risks. So for us, it's just worth it to head to the quick service locations that we know have allergy menus instead of taking time to try another restaurant and see if it's going to work for the allergies. So you may think, okay, you can just order using mobile ordering once you know which restaurants have allergy menus, right? Well, if you have more than one allergy, it's unfortunate, but mobile ordering just is not set up for this. So as allergy families, we lose a bit of convenience because of this, but even so, there are a couple things you can do that make it a little bit less of a problem. The first one is to try and eat at off times so the restaurants are not as busy. For us, we love to go early, or if we have to, we can also time our meals for when a parade is going by, because that's going to be when most people are sitting and saving their spot for that parade, and they're not going to be necessarily eating at the restaurant. It gives us a little bit more confidence because going at off time allows the staff to focus more on those allergy foods and on those procedures, but it also saves us time so we're not waiting in line, and I love doing this for these reasons. Okay, so let's recap the 3 things you need to know about Disney World with food allergies. Number 1, don't let your guard down at Disney. They are amazing with food allergies, but it's still important to ask questions and to double check and to make sure that your snacks and meals are the right ones and that they are safe for your child. Number 2, if you have 2 or more allergies, unfortunately, it can be a bit more difficult to manage. It's not impossible by any means, but you will need to consider how this might impact your trip so that you can make the most of your time and money. And number 3 was actually 2 tips. The first one is that not every quick service restaurant has an allergy menu, so you want to research those in advance. And the second one is if you have multiple allergies, you will not be able to use mobile ordering. That said, there are things that we mentioned that you can do to lower the impact this has on your trip. Time and time again of going to Disney World and any Disney location or even traveling, we do as much research before we go. And I like to use our Disney food allergy guides to ensure we know exactly where we can find the food and snacks that work for us. So if you're going, I highly recommend these Disney food allergy guides because they will make your trip less stressful and more magical, which is why we're going to Disney in the first place, right? So here's a few reasons to check out these guides. Number 1 is that you're going to know all the insider tips and tricks for food allergies at Disney. You're going to reduce your stress and anxiety for your trip. You're going to learn how Disney manages food allergies, and you'll be more knowledgeable about where mistakes can be made so you can double check. Number 4, you can even use these guides to show travel companions what it's going to be like at Disney if you're with them, so that they can see that you need to do a little bit more and they may need to be a little bit more patient with you. And the most important reason to get the guides is because you are going to know exactly where to find the best allergy-friendly food and treats, so everyone can enjoy your trip, not spend hours searching or feeling disappointed, and nobody has to miss out. So if it sounds good, I'm going to post a link to the guides in the show notes so you can check them out. So what do you think? What was the most surprising thing you learned in this episode about Disney with food allergies? Let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram. My handle is @friendlypantry. Thanks for listening, and bye for now. Before you go, Mama, if you love this episode and want deeper support, head over to friendlypantry.com to see how we can partner together to keep your food allergy child safer and worry less. There's no need for wasting time searching all over Instagram, TikTok, and the web to get the practical knowledge you need for your family. While you're there, grab your free Food Allergy Kids Empowerment Guide or the newly diagnosed checklist today. Topics are not medical advice and are the opinions, views, and property of Friendly Pantry Consulting Incorporated. All rights reserved. Always contact your board-certified allergist immunologist for health advice.